Just goes to show you're never too old to win something for your dad. Unless it's a children's award, then it would probably be pretty lame. Or so my dad says.
Well, Dan Shack is playing around 50 big blinds. Both Vanessa Selbst and Fabian Quas are short, playing 20 and 16 bigs respectively, and their options are severely limited.
Not super deep here for three-handed play.
Action on Quas. He folds the button. Ace 10 for Vanessa in the small blind.
$350.
She raises to 350,000.
Said I need about 350.
Shack with Ace 7.
How much you playing?
2.85 behind.
Million.
That sounds so baller.
What are you going to do if you get 4-bet, Dan? What are you going to do if you get 4-bet? Because guess what?
I'm all in.
Vanessa shoves.
You're getting 4-bet.
Call.
And Dan calls.
No one is happier to see this than Fabian Quas. Dan Shack is an absolute animal. He's more fearless than that guy from the movie Fearless. I assume. I've never seen it.
Like many of Peter Weir's films, it's underappreciated.
Well, I'm sure Vanessa's appreciating this domination nation.
She's a big favourite with 2 cards to come. 3 outs for Dan Shack.
We've seen Dan bink in these situations before.
Opportunities emerge, but Vanessa just has to fade a 7 to survive. She doubles up.
Queen, king, or jack chopped, right?
A lot of shots.
How much?
3.210.
Vanessa regains the chip lead. And Dan Shack drops below 5 million. Meanwhile, Fabian Quas is bringing up the rear with the super high roller set to conclude after the break. Most successful female tournament player in poker history, with 2 World Series bracelets, a couple of NAPT titles, and a high roller win here in the Bahamas last year. Now, Vanessa Selbst is the favourite to take down the PokerStars.com PCA Super High Roller. She has the chip lead with 3 players remaining.
You can't spell the best without Selbst. And an H and another E and dropping the L in one of the S's.
We're going to sweat with Vanessa on this hand. We'll play it from her perspective. Ace-King suited on the button. She raises.
Yes, finally an actual hand during a sweat with.
Dan Shack has folded the small blind.
Cool.
Fabian Quas calls out of the big blind.
You know, Fabian looks kind of athletic. I wonder if he ever played lacrosse.
The flop is King 10-8. Top pair for Vanessa.
Top pair, top kicker. Show me the money. Chips. Remember, we're playing for chips.
Fabian checks.
We can absolutely continue here, pretty much for pure value.
$360.
Like the sizing, obviously we want to call. We're hardly ever beat here. Come on, buddy.
Fabian calls.
Yes.
1.5 million in the middle. The turn card is an ace. 2 pair now.
Oh, hello.
Fabian checks a second time.
We can definitely bet this again. This is a great card for us because Fabian is expecting that we're going to try to rep this card, whether it improved us or not, so it's possible he continues to call light.
Roughly a third of the pot, 480,000.
Want to make sure we keep our customer.
Once again, Fabian calls. The river card. The 6 of diamonds. Can't imagine that's changed much.
Total brick. I love it.
Fabian checks for a third time.
Let's bet for a third time.
A value bet of 980,000.
Nice cheap sizing the whole way through. He might even call it a 10.
He shoves. He check raises all in.
Maybe it wasn't a brick. This is a straight or it's nothing, and it's almost always a straight, but we are getting an insane price.
I call.
Vanessa calls.
Can't hold this one.
And Fabian Cross tables a straight. He turned the nuts.
I've made a huge mistake.
Have to show?
At least Fabian's not celebrating. How angry would Vanessa be if he started doing the Quasac dance?
Well, Vanessa Selbst is now the short stack with 16 big blinds. And Fabian Cross is now chip leader with close to 6.9 million.
From leader to shorty in one hand. This is going to sound ridiculous, but I think both of them played it perfectly. Someone has to win and someone has to lose.
Vanessa will be looking for a spot to double up and get back in this game. King 9 on the button.
All in.
Here she goes, all in.
Seems reasonable.
Dan Shack folds the small blind.
Can I get a count, please?
I think this is a call.
I don't think that I'm falling.
Alright.
Just
Fabian's never crushing a range, but ace-4 suited has decent equity against almost everything.
call.
It's not good for me.
While Vanessa does have live cards,
Fabian appears to be cautiously optimistic.
well, he's a 61% favorite here to eliminate Vanessa Selbst.
The short sticks ran pretty good in this tournament.
Yeah, I ran too good earlier. Like,
Let's see the 5 cards.
I don't have a good feeling.
Vanessa is stressed.
It's a low flop. Vanessa still looking for a king or a 9.
Same outs, but now there are turns that would have her drawing dead.
The turn card is a 4. That's a pair for Quas. Some opportunities emerge. Vanessa can still win outright with a king or a 9 on the river. She has 6 outs.
Things are so tense, Maria Ho almost put her phone down.
The river card. It's a 3. Vanessa's out.
Sad result for Vanessa. She's going to be pretty displeased for no other reason than just because she is fiercely competitive. In a few days, the hundreds of thousands of dollars will help. She's a wordsmith.
Well, Fabian Quas now has the big chip lead as he goes heads up against Dan Shack, with Vanessa Selbst exiting the tournament in 3rd, cashing for more than $750,000.
Sometimes you just feel like you're getting pummeled, and that was kind of, once we got a 3-handed, how it felt a little bit today. Like, you know, it was just like I felt like I just never really was in a good spot, and so it just feels like you're getting beaten down, and Bobby was definitely doing a good job of beating me down.
Fabian definitely had Vanessa in the crosshairs.
Good luck, Fabian. Dan Shack finds himself heads up in the PCA Super High Roller for the 2nd time in 3 years.
Good luck to you too, Dan.
Quas obviously with the huge advantage. 51 big blinds playing 18 big blinds. And we're now at the 100,000, 200,000 level. 30k ante.
If there's one thing I've learned, though, it's don't underestimate Dan Shack.
Queen 9 of diamonds for Quas. On the button, in the small blind.
The tonic hand, quinine.
He just calls. Pocket 6s for Shack.
Heads up with a pair, sure, why not?
Raise. He makes it 700,000 total.
And this would be a pretty normal call to make with Queen 9 suited. Even offsuit, probably.
Quas calls in position. Here comes the flop.
Oh, look at all those cues.
Top pair for Quas.
Looks like Shack is going to bet. Can you blame him? Only one overcard out there for his 6s.
He was the pre-flop aggressor. And he continues for 800,000.
Great spot for Fabian to just flat. He's got position, so the turn can't get checked back unless he wants it to.
I'm all in.
He shoves.
Shack's hand not nearly good enough to call. Fabian played this one very fast.
cost Dan Shack everything he's got.
Either that's Liv Marie on the rail with the German high rollers or one convincing cross-dresser.
Only shot is you got a flush draw and 2 overs.
Even then, you're probably a slight dog.
Shack gives it up. And Fabian Quast now has a ridiculous chip lead.
I think a lot of folks in Dan's spot would have figured they put in too many chips to fold, but he did get away from the worst hand and has chips left to play with.
He has just over 13 big blinds left. Quast with 8-6.
Certainly a playable hand, heads up.
He elects to call. Jack 10 for Dan Shack. And he checks his option.
Dan the slight favorite headed to this flop.
Shack still ahead with a pair of 10s.
Good flop for Shaq.
He checks.
Decent time for Fabian to bet. He hasn't got much, but he can semi-bluff his gut shot.
200,000. Shack calls. The turn card is a 9. It gives Fabian a straight. It gives Dan Shack a straight draw.
Oh boy, that turn should bring more action than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Shack checks a second time.
Super good spot for Fabian. He knows in this turn Dan's unlikely to be able to fold anything he called the flop with, and his hand's more disguised than Gene Parmesan.
425,000.
Very easy just call spot here for Dan.
Players call.
He shoves and gets snap called by Quast.
A shining example of Quas in effect. Dan Shack is drawing pretty thin here.
He needs a king or an 8.
No chance of a chop.
Or we have a champion in the PCA Super High Roller.
Fabian is about to win enough money to finally get that unsightly goiter removed.
The other German high rollers are feeling it.
And the low rollers too. On your feet, Germany.
The river card is an ace. Fabian Quast has won it. And I can't believe he's been wearing shorts all this time. More than $1.6 million.
Congratulations, Fabian, taking down the super high roller like a Quas.
Always crushing it. Thank you.
Dan Shack, the runner-up again.
Got so.
But Fabian Quast is the man of the moment, winning his first major title. Both players cash for more than $1 million. Vanessa Selbst walks away with more than 760k for third. So back-to-back wins for Germany in super high roller events on the tour.
Fabian, you seem like a little bit, I don't know, like you might pass out or something.
A little shaken up. I was pretty tired for the last 2 or 3 hours. It was a tough grind. It always is when you go deep in those tournaments because the competition is just so tough and you cannot miss a hand and you have to stay focused all the time. And obviously I'm pretty happy that I won now and yeah, got that monkey off my back now.
Let's get a big round of applause for PCA 2014 Super High Roller Champion.
So an incredible climax to a tournament that had it all. Body blows, crazy plays, and another German stealing the show. Fabian Quast took 2 out on the bubble, followed by a double demolition at the start of the final table. He then upstaged a stellar cast to be crowned the 2014 PCA Super High Roller Champion. Join us next time from the Bahamas when the PCA main event takes center stage.
I'm Scott Olson, and I was shot in the head by a Oakland police officer on October 25th, 2011 during an Occupy Oakland demonstration, and Officer Robert Roche then threw a CS flashbang at me, and the folks were trying to render aid to me or evacuate